Okay, picture this. It's the end of the month. Your salary just hit your bank account. For about 12 hours, you feel rich. You order food without checking prices. You scroll Amazon like money is infinite. You promise yourself, this month I'll finally save. And then, somehow, before the next paycheck arrives, your balance is back to that uncomfortable number where you start doing mental math in the grocery store. If that feels a little too familiar, yeah, you're not alone. That's the salaried class experience in a nutshell. My name is Grump, and I spend way too much time thinking about why salaried people, smart, hardworking, educated people, keep making the same financial mistakes over and over again. If you're someone who earns a stable paycheck but still feels like you're barely moving forward financially, hit subscribe and give this video a thumbs up because today we're breaking down the 10 biggest financial mistakes salaried people make, why they happen psychologically, and how to actually fix them without needing a six-figure income. Now look, before we start, I want to be clear about something. This isn't about blaming you. The system is literally designed to keep salaried people comfortable enough to not revolt, but stressed enough to never build real wealth. And once you see the patterns, it becomes painfully obvious. Here's the thing. The first mistake starts the moment your salary hits your account. Most salaried people treat their salary like it's guaranteed forever. You get paid every month, so your brain quietly assumes the next paycheck is already yours. Psychologists call this income certainty bias, and it's dangerous because once your brain assumes money is guaranteed, it gives you permission to spend today instead of preparing for tomorrow. Now you might be thinking, but Grump, I do have a stable job. Sure, until you don't. According to data from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average person changes jobs every 4.1 years, and millions of salaried workers face layoffs every economic cycle. Stability is an illusion, but your spending habits don't treat it that way. This is why people upgrade their lifestyle the second their salary increases. Bigger apartment, better phone, more subscriptions. The raise doesn't make you richer, it just makes you more expensive to maintain, like upgrading from a bicycle to a sports car but still earning bicycle money long term. Mistake number 2 is confusing income with wealth. This one is huge. Salaried people love to say, I make good money. But here's what most people don't realize. Income is what comes in. Wealth is what stays when income stops. And most salaried people, if their salary stopped tomorrow, their financial life would collapse within 3 months. A 2023 survey by Bankrate showed that 57% of working adults can't cover a $1,000 emergency without borrowing. Let that sink in. These are people with jobs, with salaries, with degrees, and still one emergency away from debt. Why? Because income feels powerful, so it creates false confidence. It's like standing on thin ice because it hasn't cracked yet. That feeling of safety is psychological, not financial. Now look, mistake number 3 is one of my favorites because it sounds responsible but is actually destructive. Over-relying on savings accounts. Salaried people love savings accounts. It feels safe, it feels mature. I'm not reckless, I save. But here's the uncomfortable truth. If your money is sitting in a savings account earning 3 to 4% while inflation is running at 6 to 7%, you're losing money every year in real terms. Here's the math. If you have $10,000 in savings earning 4%, you make $400 a year. But if inflation is 6%, your purchasing power drops by $600. Net result, you're down $200 without touching the money. Silent loss, no notification, no warning. This is where it gets interesting. Your brain values safety more than growth. Psychologically, losing slowly feels better than risking volatility, even if volatility leads to long-term gains. That's why salaried people feel responsible while quietly falling behind. Mistake number 4 is delaying investing because I don't earn enough yet. This is one of the most expensive lies people tell themselves. Now, you might be thinking, Grump, investing is for rich people. No, time is more important than income. Let's say you invest $300 a month starting at age 25, earning an average of 10%. By 60, that's roughly $700,000. Start at 35 instead, same amount, same return, you end up with around $300,000. That 10-year delay costs you $400,000. And here's the psychological trap. Salaried people wait for the perfect moment. Higher salary, less expenses, more clarity. That moment rarely comes. Life expands to consume income. The earlier you invest, the less you need to invest. Mistake number 5, using debt to maintain appearances. This one hurts. Credit cards, EMIs, buy now, pay later. These tools are marketed as convenience, but for salaried people, they become lifestyle glue. They hold together a lifestyle that income alone can't support. Here's the thing. Debt feels small when it's monthly. It's just $99 a month. But stack 10 of those together and suddenly half your salary is pre-spent before you even see it. Psychologically, payment makes pain reduced. Your brain ignores total cost. A $1,200 phone feels cheaper when framed as $100 a month, even though it's the same money. This is called payment framing bias, and it's how salaried people stay broke while looking successful. Mistake number 6 is not having a real emergency fund. And no, a credit card is not an emergency fund. An emergency fund is boring. It just sits there, which is why most people never build one properly. They say, I'll handle it when it happens. But emergencies don't ask permission. Medical bills, job loss, family emergencies. Without a buffer, salaried people are forced into bad decisions, high interest debt, panic withdrawals, selling investments at the worst possible time. Most financial planners recommend 3 to 6 months of expenses, but here's what most people don't realize. The emergency fund isn't about math, it's about psychological safety. When you know you're covered, you make better decisions, you negotiate harder, you take smarter risks, you stop living in fear of one bad month. Mistake number 7 is ignoring taxes as a strategy. Salaried people see taxes as unavoidable, it's deducted anyway. End of thought. But higher income salaried individuals often overpay taxes simply because they don't plan. Retirement accounts, tax-advantaged investments, deductions, these aren't loopholes for the rich. They're tools for anyone willing to learn. For example, contributing to tax-advantaged retirement plans can save thousands annually. A person in a 30% tax bracket investing $10,000 pre-tax effectively saves $3,000 immediately. That's not small. That's a free return most people ignore. Mistake number 8 is betting everything on one income stream. This is the biggest structural weakness of the salaried class. One job, one paycheck, one point of failure. Now look, I'm not saying quit your job tomorrow. I'm saying understand risk. If your entire financial life depends on one employer, you're far more fragile than you think. Even a small side income, dividends, freelancing, digital products, changes your psychology. You stop seeing your boss as your only lifeline, and that mental shift alone is powerful. Mistake number 9 is lifestyle comparison. This one is sneaky. You see coworkers upgrading cars, friends going on vacations, social media showing highlights, and suddenly your normal life feels insufficient. So you upgrade, not because you need to, but because you don't want to feel left behind. Here's what most people don't realize. You're comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel, and often they're funding that lifestyle with debt you'll never see. Comparison is expensive. It turns contentment into dissatisfaction and savings into spending. Mistake number 10, the final one, is never stepping back to look at the big picture. Salaried people optimize for comfort, not freedom. They focus on surviving the month, not designing the decade. They ask, can I afford this, instead of, is this moving me closer to financial independence? That single question changes everything. Now look, if this all feels overwhelming, that's okay. Awareness comes before change. You don't fix 10 mistakes at once. You fix one, then another, then momentum kicks in. Here's the action plan. Start by tracking where your salary actually goes. Not roughly, exactly. Awareness kills waste. Next, build a real emergency fund. Then automate investing, small amounts consistently. Reduce lifestyle inflation. Learn basic tax strategy, and slowly, intentionally add another income stream. This isn't about becoming rich overnight. It's about escaping the salaried class trap quietly, patiently, intelligently. Here's the final thought I want to leave you with. A salary is a powerful tool, but only if you control it. Otherwise, it controls you. Every smart financial decision you make is a vote for future freedom, and those votes compound faster than you think. You don't need a higher salary to fix most of these mistakes. You need awareness, discipline, and time. And the good news, you already have all three available to you. If this video made you uncomfortable, good. That means it's working. And if it helped you see your finances differently, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Because the goal isn't to earn more and stay stressed. The goal is to earn well and finally feel in control.